Did you know that the menstrual product industry is valued at $35 billion worldwide? And since menstrual products are classed as medical devices rather than personal care or hygiene products, menstrual product companies aren't required to disclose all behind the scenes that happen. Now, most of typical pads are made of plastic, but when you take into account how your skin is highly permeable and how most substances that come into close contact with it are absorbed into the bloodstream and transported throughout the body, plastic pads are quite dangerous. We need to start a discussion about the period products that we use and what they contain in them. So I'm going to run down just a couple of things that typical pads include inside. The first chemical is dioxin. Now, in the bleaching process for cotton materials and fibers inside pads, they are bleached with chlorine, which gives them the whole white, clean and hygienic look. Unfortunately, this creates dioxin, which is a highly toxic pollutant. Dioxin can accumulate in the body's fat storage over time and can stay up to 20 years. But it can create a whole bunch of issues, including pelvic inflammatory disease, hormone dysfunctions, endometriosis, and even different forms of cancer. Pads also contain rayon, which is a synthetic fiber made from wood pulp. Why? Because it's cheaper than cotton and it helps with absorption. But it also still contains dioxin from the bleaching process. Another chemical that you should probably know about are pesticides. Now, the cotton that is harvested and used in pads are heavily sprayed with herbicides and pesticides. But since these chemicals don't go away long after the cotton is harvested, it's absorbed into our bodies. This can cause issues such as infertility, hormonal disruption, thyroid malfunction, endometriosis, and even depression. We often see pads being advertised as leak-proof, but that's because there's a plastic layer at the bottom of the pad. Now, this can trap moisture and heat, which creates the ideal environment for yeast and bacteria to grow. Unfortunately, people with sensitive skin might experience chafing and soreness, and also infections as well. Scented sanitary pads with odor neutralizers and other fragrances often can contain up to 3,900 chemicals. Now, these chemicals may be allergens, irritants, carcinogens, or even endocrine disrupting chemicals, which are also known as EDCs. EDCs in particular are a worry because on the surface they may look like they irritate the skin, causing allergies, but they're also linked to breast cancer, infertility, and other reproductive diseases such as endometriosis as well. We've talked about the health effects of pads, but what about the environmental and social impact of them? See, many pads end up flushed down the toilet and end up causing sewer blockages. They also often end up in sea or washed up on beaches. But since they're made of plastic, most of them end up staying in the environment from anywhere between 400 to 800 years. Also, think about it. No other product used to soak up blood like Band-Aids have added fragrance. So why do menstrual pads have them? How does this make girls, women, and people who menstruate feel about themselves or their bodies? We must start to consider alternatives to menstrual products such as menstrual cups, organic or disposable pads that can biodegrade, or tampons that are biodegradable. Personally, I use BioFree, which is this new brand that recently launched. They are 100% biodegradable, it's safe for your body, and it's absolutely safe for the environment too. So it's worth checking it out. Thank you for watching this video.